Hey guys, it's Tyler. I haven't done a video in forever, but this has been on my mind and I've started. But someone I follow asked a really important question, or a really, like, boom, mind implodes question. And that was, if you had the choice, would you have chosen to be born cisgender or transgender? And a lot of people were like, you know what, I'm fine with being transgender. I'm happy with who I am, and I got a lot of experiences out of it. And me, being an optimistic little shit, was like, nah, I would have rather been born cisgender. But then, of course, me being me, decided to think about it way more than I probably needed to. And I was kind of like, you know what? I still would have rather been born cisgender. But I came up with some stuff that I probably wouldn't have had if I had been born cisgender, that I do have from being transgender. One of the really big things is just confidence. I have way more confidence than ever, ever. I was just, oh my god, I was the shyest little human being in existence. Like, just, oh my god, my face would turn red at everything. I still can't handle flirting, but I was homeschooled, super religious family. I was just not prepared for the outside world. We'll leave it at that, because another big thing was me being able to tell my family off. That sounds really rude, and I don't mean it like, oh yeah, I hate my family. But my family is not as bad as some families could be about being transgender, but they're also not supportive at all. Like, they won't say old Tyler. Old Tyler did just let things go. Just be like, it's fine, you know, it really sucks for me, but I don't want to be the person to stand up and say, no, it's not okay. Because it was always just me. Because I'm like the only one in my family that's not religious, and I'm gay, and I'm transgender, and they're all super religious, so you can see why we don't mesh that well. So this past year has been a lot of me being like, hey, you know what, it's not okay if you call me a she all the time. You know what, I don't want you calling me mom to my son, because I'm his dad. Like, my brother sent a group text to me and my sisters and was all like, Happy Mother's Day. And I was like, yo, thanks for the thought, but I'm not a mom, so no thanks. And like, old me would have never even dreamed of putting someone else in an awkward position because of me. Well, one thing, being trans has really opened my eyes to, like, just everyone else on this planet. Like, there were genders that I didn't know existed that do exist. So I'm like meeting all these different types of people, and it's really like made me realize how little gender matters. Like, there's so many people that are non-binary, and young religious me was like, what the hell? What's that? Is that a thing? And of course my family was like, no, that's not a thing. That's just a crazy people thing. So realizing that that's actually a thing that's scientifically proven, I'm like, oh, hey, you know what? Maybe that's why, like, I was always confused why gender was such a big deal to people. Because it's not. It's not a thing. Like, we're all human beings. Why we gotta be like, yo, you got a penis, so I feel this way about you, but you don't, so you're gotta be treated differently and paid less. So it's like really just made me realize to value people by them as a person, not by what's in their pants. Basically, it's just made me really not care about genders. And I think that's awesome. I don't think any of us should care about genders. And like I said, I identify as gay, but I'm probably really more pansexual, because if I really like someone and they're a girl, okay, I'm not gonna be like, yo, you don't got what I want. You're gonna, no, not gonna work. but you're a fantastic person, but no. I'm gonna be like, hey, you know what? Maybe we should give it a shot because maybe it won't be a big deal. But yeah, another thing is I wear and dress however I want now. Because before it was all like, oh, I gotta look a certain way because that's proper. And now I'm like, well, everybody sees me as a messed up freak anyway, so might as well dress how I want. So yeah, I might shop in the guys section. I might see some cute shoes in the girls section. I'm gonna buy them. Because why can't I not wear those shoes just because they're in the girls section? Like, logic is no. Horrible logic. So yeah, basically if it's cute and it looks good on me, I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna wear it. Another thing is I feel like it's made me a way better dad. Because, I mean, when you're so unhappy with who you are, how can you, like, love a kid and really encourage them to be themselves when you're not being yourselves? So I feel like being transgender and having to become who I am or I'm supposed to be, it's really important because my son's going to grow up and he's going to see that, hey, my dad is living life as himself to the fullest, and that's what I want him to do. I want him to be himself. I don't want him to feel like he can't be himself because the world's going to say, hey, that's not okay. I want to be like, you know what? Fuck the world. You do you. I've made a lot of friends, and I mean, I've had friends before. I had a couple friends here and there. Most of them sucked because I was all about not telling people no, not being myself. And when you're like that, when you're not being yourself, you're gonna make friends who don't like you for you because they don't know you. They like the person that you're pretending to be. So being myself, honestly, when I first came out as transgender, I was like really worried that, because I mean, I had been acting like someone else for so long. I was like, who actually am I as a person? And that was really terrifying because I was like, what if I don't like who I am? And then I was like, well, I get to decide who I am. So if I want to be that guy who's nice to people that people think they can take advantage of, I can do that. I can decide that's me. It's not just like you're set in stone who you have to be. You get to pick. So I was like, you know what? I get to like mold this whole new person. And then I get to make friends that like that person. So that was really weird, but really awesome because now like all the friends I have are all people I like, and we have the same things that are important to me are important to them. I'm not talking like, oh yeah, I like the show Doctor Who, you do too. I'm talking about like groups of people that think the world would be a better place if we stopped caring about gender, or people who think it's okay to be overly kind to people. And I think it's just really important to have friends that are very encouraging for you to be who you are, and they don't try to tell you how to be someone else, and the same with you encouraging them, and just all around everyone supporting each other. Like, that's really important. And I don't think I would have that if I hadn't come out as trans and started actually being myself. So yeah, even though being born cisgender, might seem like it would have been easier for me, that didn't happen. I was born like this, I'm transgender, and you know what? I've gotten a lot of great things out of that. So I'm not gonna think about any more of what would have happened or what could have been, because it didn't. It's not going to happen. This is what's happening right now, and I'm okay with that because I'm happy with who I am. I'm happy with the people I'm friends with, and I'm just happy. Thanks for listening to me ramble. Okay, bye.